Hola, aloha, buongiorno, buongiorni, namaste. Ohio, yagamazma. Здравствуйте. Sincha. It's foundation testing time. Yay! I love testing foundations out. This is the new foundation from Yves Saint Laurent. It is the All Hours Liquid Foundation, which claims to keep your face matte and fresh all day. I believe it's up to 24 hours, but I'll read the info in a moment. This one retails, I believe, at £33.50. I'll say I believe I bought it, but I buy so many things I really lose track. But it's £33.50. It has 22 shades. I'm wearing the shade B80, which is the shade before the last one, which seems quite dark and different between my one and the other. But and then they've probably got another 2 or 3 shades lighter than me for those of us with darker skin. And so it's got 22 shades in total. And by the way, if you want to skip all the intro and all that and want to go straight to the demo, I'll put the time below right about now so you can skip. But if you are interested in finding out what this foundation claims, then keep on watching. It says here, it says the YSL All Hours Liquid Foundation has you covered for endless nights, own the night and the day with a matte foundation for a flawless complexion, which stays put for up to 24 hours. Big claim. And it says here, a rich level of fine pigment means full coverage with a flawless, even finish without a mask-like effect. The high coverage foundation's innovative formula is waterproof and transfer resistant with no compromise on comfort and no need to touch up. Another big claim. We'll see about that. Okay, says the oil-free formula gives a matte look throughout the day and helps to reduce the appearance of pores. Apply with the All Hours blender, which is a new sponge that they have, which I did not buy. For a polished, flawless finish. For increased wear and hold, apply All Hours primer before the foundation, an instant perfecting layer for a lasting matte complexion. The YSL All Hours Liquid Matte Foundation formula is enriched with a skincare complex and UV filter, leaving the skin looking fresh. Okay, so as an extremely oily person, I'm never going to find a foundation that's not going to get oily at some point where the oil will break through. But so the challenge is, how long can that hold on to for? That is really the challenge. You have to be realistic. If you are extremely oily, you know exactly where we're coming from. If you are just oily in certain areas, you can probably get away, have a foundation which doesn't break out at all, and that would be perfect. So for us, it is just how long would it last for before you have to then go and, and blot or do anything else. This one says no touch-ups at all. I'm going to spend the whole day without doing any touch-ups whatsoever. I'm going to try and keep this for 10 hours in total, so we can test it out and see how it goes. And then we're going to go through each one of these claims at the end of it to see whether they bear truth or whether they failed completely and miserably. So if you are interested, then keep on watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and so on if you feel that you've felt, liked it at the end of the day. Okie dokie, let's get started. On my face, I've already got primer, which is Becca Evermatte Poreless Primer. I use that all the time, and I've done a bit of color correcting, and the eyebrows are done, and they need to still be done. Look how far I've taken it. I want to have down here. Who cares? I'll sort it out later. Anyway, so there it is. There is the sample. Yeah, so this is the nearest color that I could think of, because all the others, although it does seem a bit dark, I have a feeling it might be. Ooh. Okay, so it's actually fairly thick. It's not as thick as you would have with the, for example, Kat Von D, but it's not as runny as the Makeup Forever one. So you can see it doesn't budge, it doesn't move anywhere. There's quite a bit of red in here. I'm just going to lock my exposure in place so that it doesn't go all over the place. Voila. So yeah, so let's try it out. I'm thinking I'm going to use a beauty blender, or should I say a makeup sponge instead. I've given up on the original beauty blender itself, because to me it's not as good as these ones that I've got. I found dupes which are even better, and now I'm sticking to them. And this one from the company called Nancy, and I bought it on Beauty Bay. It's only about £5. and it's great. So we're going to try it with this. I'm thinking the color might be a bit too red, so let's hope it doesn't oxidize either. So let's see. All right, not bad. It does feel light, actually. It doesn't feel heavy, first impression. You can see there's a lot of red. We're just going to apply that, right? Ooh, I like it. It just feels as if there's nothing there. Wow, okay. Really, really super light. We'll carry on applying it and see how it works out. And voila, look at that. So smooth, so light. It is full coverage, but it doesn't feel heavy. It really is not a heavy foundation. It's almost as if I've got like a BB cream or something. You literally forget that it's there on your face. My skin still feels as if it can breathe. It feels super light. For me, there is no need to build it up at all. Although I've got some kind of pigmentation and so on, I didn't need to build it up much at all, to be honest. And it's covered up. Everything is so super smooth, so light. I'm crossing my fingers that it doesn't oxidize. It is now 9:35, and it is so quick to put on and cover everything. It literally took me what, three minutes, and that was it. For my whole face to do it smooth, to get this finished, about 3 minutes, which is super fast, because there are some foundations that you need to work into your skin, and it works perfectly fine with this sponge. There was no need for me to use a brush. I tend not to use brushes unless they're very heavy, thick foundations, like the Milani ones or the Kat Von D ones, and then I use a brush because that kind of spreads the product a bit more. But I'm very happy so far, to be honest. It is so light, so smooth, and yeah, so I'm just going to go and finish off the rest of my face, and then I'll come back to you. And voila, that's my face all done. Right, color wise, actually this is definitely a better match. I checked it during daylight and it matches really well. In fact, this has got one of the best matching my skin I've ever had. I mean, I've only really had two where I will say, well, actually I'll say two because I normally use it Makeup Forever, but even that sometimes can look a bit strange. But this one actually blended in super easy with the powder, finishing powder that I put in place. It was great. I did not do any kind of baking at all. I did set around my face in this area, but not under my under eyes. I actually don't set under my under eyes anymore because I actually find that my under eyes normally stay dry, and the more I actually set with powder, the more kind of like emphasizes the lines. Now I haven't got a problem with my lines because, you know, it's inevitable, but I don't want to actually set it so that it dries all out and sucks out all the moisture, which is what well, setting and also especially baking does. The rest of my face needs it, but that particular area doesn't. So I've not done that. So as you can see, this is it. Now I'm feeling a bit nervous because I'm not too sure that this is going to last the whole day. You can see here there's a bit of shine around this area, which is, I'm thinking, this is meant to be last all day. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll probably keep this on to about 7:30 so I can get the roughly the 10-hour gap so we can see what it's like. But yeah, it is super natural. It feels super light, perfect match for my skin. I'm so surprised at that, and we'll see how it goes for the rest of the day. See you soon. Hey guys, it is now 11:56, so it's been less than 2 hours, you know, since I've had this on, and I can tell you now, hands down, this ain't gonna last for 10 hours. No, it's not even hit 2 hours yet. The temperature is not necessarily hot today. It's going to get up to 20 degrees, so it's not the hottest of days, which I know for an oily person doesn't really make much of a difference. But we are 2 hours into a foundation that claims to remain all day, and I can tell you that it is super shiny. You can see the difference. There is no way. I mean, the shine here, that particular part here, is actually just me having added highlighter, so I can't blame that on the foundation. But the rest of my face, forget all that. I've got a bit of a you know, reaction to something that's come up, which has gotten a lot better. Believe me, it was all over my cheek area, but you can see here there's a shine on my forehead. This ain't gonna last 10 hours. I'm not gonna be able to do the 10 hours. I'm gonna try and keep it on till at least 6 o'clock, and hopefully we'll see how it goes till then, because I cannot see that this is going to last 10 hours. Ain't no way. And I'm not going to even be able to blot, because I purposely made sure that so that I don't blot and cheat. I left my brushes and stuff at home, so I haven't even got anything, and believe you me, I can see the shine on my face. And right now I'm about to pop out my car and go into the shop and see people, and I just man. But it must be done. It must be done for all my extremely oily girls out there. I'm testing this out for you. So I expect gratitude for all this suffering that I am actually going through. It's not just for me, it's for you too. Anyway, I'll check back with you guys much later, where I am absolutely guaranteed to have an extremely oily, disgusting mess on my face. So we will see how it goes. All Hours 24 hours foundation that stays matte. Does this look like it's matte to you? Does it? Let's get through the list of what they claim, okay? So it does say here that it stays on fresh throughout the day, lasts for up to 24 hours. I disagree. If you look at my face. And also it has a rich level of pigment, means full coverage. Yes, I agree. Full coverage, easily full coverage. With a flawless, even finish. Definitely agree with that as well. Without a mask-like effect. Again, agree with that. Super light, you forget that it's there on your face. It still doesn't feel heavy at all. The time now is at 19:36, so definitely I've had it on for 10 hours now. I film with my phone, so I can't show you that, but listen, if you know me, if you've watched my videos, I don't do any of that stuff for lying to you. So it's been 10 hours since I've had this. I'm an extremely oily person. It does say here, the high coverage foundation innovative formula is waterproof. I'm not going to be able to argue that or say either way, but I'm not about to start splashing water over my face. It is transfer resistant. I don't think necessarily that it's going to be waterproof, but I don't know. Can't make any claims with regards to that. I'm now going to take my exposure off so I can show you what the transfer is like, so we can test that one out. So there's a bit of tissue. It is completely white, so exposure off, so you get to see. All right, so there's the tissue, super white. And now we're just going to press it down. And back we go. That's not bad. That's actually not bad with it being transfer proof, actually. So I would actually give it points for that as well. So if you're not oily, this would actually work as a transfer resistant, really good foundation to have. Any other points that it makes here, where it says the compromise comfort resistant with no compromise, oil-free formula gives a matte look throughout the day. No. Not for me, and also yeah, so those are the main claims. Now, conclusion, would I recommend this based on my experience? Part of me wants to hold on to the foundation that I've actually ordered, because this was a sample, but the part of me that wants to hold on to that foundation is the part that knows how very difficult it is for me to find a matching foundation. I'm one of the most difficult individuals out there to find the right foundations. Most of the companies which have got foundations haven't got any that work for me. Lancome, over 40 shades, none of them are right for me. Il Masca, nothing for me at all. Dior, nothing for me at all. Chanel, nothing for me at all. Tom Ford, nothing. And these are places where I've actually gone and tested out foundation. So I'm not just saying it for the sake of I didn't see a matching color shade. I've gone to them, tried to color match me, and it's come out wrong. Estee Lauder, both foundations, none of them actually go for match my skin. Decay, nothing actually works for me. So this is part of me wants to hold on to this foundation, because to be honest, for the fact that it's actually shiny, when it's shiny, it's a bit more obvious that there is a discoloration, but when it's matte, It's much closer. So that part of me wants to hold on to it. But I have to be realistic. This is meant to be a 24-hour all-day matte foundation. And I think it failed for me. Because initially when I put it on, I didn't want to actually bake or do any of that, because that would have actually affected how the foundation works, and I wouldn't have been able to see just how mattifying it is or it isn't. So it was, from when I put it on, and I'm sure I pointed it out, right around this area was already shiny, and within 2 hours it was already shiny. And today was not a hot day, maximum 20 degrees. And you got to think also that this face is like this. I've been indoors since I was out for about an hour and a half from when I actually spoke to you guys and gave you an update. After that, I've been home indoors, away from sunshine, and this is what my face is like. Yes, it hasn't separated. Yes, it is actually still smooth underneath all the shine that you can see. And yes, it is true that actually my pores are not as extremely, because they've been really bad as well. I've had worse. So that part of it is it. But this is meant to be a 24-hour foundation, and it isn't. You can see it on my face. It isn't. Give me a few eggs for breakfast and I'll fry this on my face. Now, for that reason, I'm not going to be able to keep this foundation. I'm going to have to return the one that I've just bought, or swap it for something else, because realistically, when I weigh it down, the positives and negatives, no thank you. Anyway, that's my conclusion. You make up your own mind as usual as whether you agree with me or not. If you are less oily, this will be actually a good foundation for you. If you want, maybe got just some T-zones that you can then bake or really powder up. But if you are extremely oily, I don't think so. I mean, look at this.